my biggest takeaway from both games. I did this in both.
I just need the apology to be as loud as the disrespect was. That's all I need. It was a bad shot, but he was out of rhythm as well.
Don't try to take up. That was a bad
Man, he
shot.
was out of rhythm though.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Kendal. I'm here with my man Khalil, and this is another episode of the Wild Card, where we talk everything ASU, HBCU, and pro sports. We got a packed week for y'all today.
I'm excited.
So am I, man. We got a packed show for y'all today, including NBA playoff predictions and an inside look at the ASU football team. So make sure y'all stay tuned and watch to the end and see what we got to say. Khalil, how you feeling today, bro?
I'm very excited. We finally got this head coaching thing down pat. It was a long process, long thought out process. Many candidates that we thought were going to be hired that didn't end up being hired. But, I mean, we finally got the man in charge, so let's get into it.
Man, I feel like the rock right now. Finally, we have a head coach here at Alabama State University for the men's basketball team. Like you said, it felt like we were just going through the motions. We had this coach being rumored, this coach being rumored, this coach being rumored, and we just never knew what was going on. We talked about it so many times, and now we finally have a man in charge. We went to his opening press conference. What were your impressions of him?
Well, Coach Tony Madlock is a hard-nosed coach. And the thing about that is you have to be very careful with being a tough-minded coach in today's generation.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that we have to admit, we are a sensitive generation. We don't take coaching well. We don't take people yelling as well. And I hope that doesn't turn away some recruits. But I think that winning cures all. So if he comes in here and we can just make the tournament for the first year, I think that will entice some recruits to come here. Okay.
He did some magic. He did some magic with South Carolina State.
Mm-hmm.
They had one win the previous season. He took them to 15. That shows improvement. That shows winning. And that shows what the impact that he has on the culture for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, hard-nosed, real discipline. I honestly think that's what we needed. We talked a lot about the team last year, and they lacked some discipline. You could tell they were kind of a little lackadaisical. Mo Williams never really, to me, was a vocal like, yo, I'm gonna keep pushing you.
Mm-hmm.
Like we losing to a team that we shouldn't be losing to. I'm gonna keep pushing you.
He's not. His personality didn't fit with the school. We need someone that was more, hey, you gotta get this done right now, as opposed to, all right, I'm gonna let y'all sit back and y'all can figure it out. Because you look at Coach Jackson, and
for the women's team, yeah.
Yes, Coach Jackson. Mm-hmm. You see how she holds her players accountable, and they respond to that. Her players embrace her mentality. DK is a perfect. It feels like they are clones of each other. Just
Jayla, Ayanna, they play with a certain aggressiveness, a certain swag. Like, yo, we know what we doing.
Exactly. And from what I've heard, I watched a podcast earlier this week. I'm not gonna give him any credit because we don't do sponsorships around here.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah, not yet. But he was saying that when he's coaching his son, TJ Madlock, who will be transferring here come next fall, he doesn't take anything off of him. There's no favoritism. He will bench him if he has to bench him, and that's something that I can't say that I'm not sure that our previous coaching staffs would have done.
Man, for me, the only time that Mo Williams would get really into it real rowdy is when he was arguing with the refs and on his way to attack. If we being honest, because every time that we saw
something else, but I'm not gonna say it.
Every time that we saw them losing or we saw them really, really in the trenches, he never really was vocal enough to push them the way that I think they needed to be pushed. Mm-hmm. And you talked about the transfer portal a little bit earlier. I really honestly do think that Coach Madlock can bring some guys that are in the transfer portal back. I think any real competitor wants somebody that's gonna test them, wants somebody that's gonna push them. And from what Madlock said in the press conference, that's what he's trying to do.
He also made it a point of emphasis to the guys that are transferring from ASU, try to keep them, but also help them find a destination that fits their skill set. So that was interesting to me. I'm also looking forward to seeing how Penny Hard. He said he's going to recruit hard in the Memphis area because that's where Penny Hardaway is, and he's going to get the Castaway. So I'm hoping it's kind of like a mutualism relationship.
Same. You talked about TJ also, bro. He's something that I don't feel like we had as far as puts a lot of effort on both ends of the ball. We had guys,
players.
Yeah, we had standout players on one side of the ball, like Trace on offense and other guys on defense. But I feel like TJ, he brings in this kind of system where, I want to be the best scorer on the team, but I also want to guard the best player too. Yeah, that's something that we need. We definitely need that. So I'm hoping that they can really change life for us. I talked a little bit about this in the story I wrote about him. I really think
go check that out, y'all.
Facts. I really think that he could change the culture.
Mm-hmm.
I really do, and I think that that's exactly what we need—a culture change.
Definitely. But transitioning to the football field, we did get an opportunity to go witness the boys practice.
And a couple scrimmages too.
Spring game next Saturday, April 24th. So make sure
2 o'clock.
Make sure you're out there for that. What were your biggest takeaways from that? I saw some things. You were really focused on the defense. I was on the offense. So what did you see?
I think the first time I watched which was the scrimmage, I was focused on both, a little bit of both, but especially the offense. We talked about who might be the starting quarterback. Miles was taking a lot of reps in QB1, so that's encouraging. I mean, I think that Miles is one of those players that can lead this team. We talked about what he did last year. He really only played 2 full games last year, and look, he had four over 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. And he showed a command of the team that you wouldn't expect from a second-string quarterback off rip. Like, as soon as Ryan went down or as soon as Ryan went out, he led that team. Mm-hmm. So I'm confident in Miles being that QB1 if he is.
And I think that he's the most accurate passer out of the millions of guys it seems like we have.
What? What happened to Joe?
Yes, I believe Joe. I said that Joe is the best. He's probably the safest option.
Okay.
Because he doesn't turn the ball over, and
Miles don't really turn it over like that.
He's a winner. At the end of the season, we need that little win streak to go on, and he pushed us towards that. I just feel like with Miles, he's a lot more. Joe is more composed, but Miles is the moxie. He's the what's gonna draw fans. He's gonna make the beautiful plays, and I just believe that. Really and truly, I said the quarterback is the most important position for us this year. I think that everything has to go through Ja'Cory, honestly. Ja'Cory is gonna be he's gonna be our energy. He's gonna be the engine. We're gonna play through him.
See, I'm not really sure about that. No disrespect to Ja'Cory. I think he's a great player and everything like that, but I don't know if it's going to come down to one running back. One of the things that Coach Robinson did a great job of is he brought in talented running backs.
Yeah, I'm just saying I think he's going to be the lead guy, and with his play style, we're going to play through him because if we're running the ball, then defense has to come up, and that's when you got Levante.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm sorry, you go.
You got J.C. Madlock, a transfer from Clemson, who I'm very excited to see. I think that the talent we have at the wide receiver position we have the potential to be a SWAC championship offense.
And honestly, the talent that we have at the wide receiver position is the reason why I don't think that Ja'Cory is going to be as important as, let's say, Ezra was last year.
Oh no, we got more talent than this year.
But I also think that the mentality of the wide receivers we saw in the practices that we watched so far, our offense isn't backing down from the defense. Our defense was by far the best part of our team last year. And we still have a lot of goons on that team, on that side of the ball.
I don't know if we have a good offensive line or our defensive line is just that good, though. I'm not sure about that.
But I think it also comes from the skill position players, too. Levante, he's brought a lot of energy to the team. He's brought this kind of aggressiveness to the wide receiver core that they're going at the defense. It's not just they're sitting back and they're letting things happen. No, they're going back at them.
And you already have another dog next to him in Jeremiah. So.
Absolutely. And we haven't even seen Jeremiah practice yet.
Yeah. We got some pit bulls at the wide receiver position, so I'm really excited to see how we compete with some of these, Jackson State's A&Ms of the world.
Yeah, and also real quick, they look good so far with as many injuries as they're dealing with too. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen Jeremiah, we haven't seen Ja'Cory. It's other players that we haven't seen that are going to be real pieces on this team. So far, I'm encouraged by what we see. Obviously, we'll have more to talk about after the black and gold game next week, but I really think that this team can be special because the offense is bringing that aggressiveness early.
My last point before we transition is the fact that I think that we're going to have a lot more offensive packages that are more modern as opposed to, I think, in our previous coaching staff, that it was more, we're going 3 clouds in a pile of dust. It was just very, what's the word I'm looking for, Kendal?
Mediocre.
No, the play style.
It was kind of just dull. Like it didn't really
flash.
Yeah, it wasn't any flash. And like you said, we've seen a lot of good offensive packages so far. A lot of trips formations, a lot of motions.
There was no motions last year. It was just straight,
Yeah, and then like you're seeing Miles and the other quarterbacks, Ryan and the rest of them, be kind of tested to throw the ball down the field and give some looks to other players. And I think having those different receivers now, because if it wasn't going to Jeremiah or a speedy wide receiver, it was going to one of the tight ends. And maybe that can be for a bigger, taller wide receiver that can be a deep ball threat. And then we can have tight ends like running seams and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. But let's go to the basketball court. We got to talk about Jackson State. It seems like we talk about them every single week. They are knocking down doors. They're doing really good. They are winning in every facet of sports right now. They had Amisha Williams Holiday. She was drafted 25th overall to the Indiana Fever. I'm sorry. I was about to say Storm.
The first HBCU player drafted in the WNBA in 20 years.
Since 2002.
Man, that's big time. That's big time. And I really think that she obviously deserves it, man. She's first team all swag player of the year, defensive player of the year. Bro, this girl was a baller. Absolute baller.
You want to say bucket so bad?
I did. But she was a baller because she does this on both sides.
Yeah.
She was a baller all year. And she deserves it. And, congratulations to her, absolutely. And I think that this will open the door for more to come after her. Mm-hmm. And she said it herself, she said, I want every HBCU athlete to never lose hope and to know that anything's possible. And I think that she really embodies that. And I can't wait to see what she does in the pros.
The thing about her story that's very interesting to me, and I'm going to tell you this because I really want to. It's just a story time with Stu, that's what we're gonna call it. But the story that she told us on air was the fact that she transferred from Mississippi State, right?
Yeah.
And during that period of time, she ended up being pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So she had thoughts of quitting basketball, thoughts of doubt. You know how that goes. Everybody goes through that period in life.
Yeah.
And Coach Tamika Reed, before she even got the job at Jackson State, obviously when you went to the transfer portal, you got coaches hitting up your phone. They were, what they can do, and 9 times out of 10, when the coaches tell you what's going to happen, what they can do, it doesn't really happen. Mm-hmm. Coach Tamika Reed wasn't even the coach at Jackson State yet. Coach hit her with a simple, "Are you okay? Are you good? What's going on?" More of a mom figure type role. And she explained to her. Actually, she didn't explain to her. She sent her a picture of her being pregnant, like a little thing, and it was just. Tamika Reed just put a whole lot of faith in her. She really just explained to her how she feels like she had the longer vision of if I can put you in a position to go to WNBA, long term you'll be good with your son. So she went as far as taking care of her son at practice, pushing him in the stroller. Mm-hmm. I think that was just a beautiful story. It says a lot about Coach Tamika Reed. She's a very influential coach. We even get that from her press conferences.
Absolutely, and I think that it takes people like that in these positions in order to really change HBCU culture, but also just to make sure that these black athletes are not only good while they're there, but also in the future when they leave.
Yeah.
And like you said, that's a great story.
Mm-hmm.
I really do hope that Coach Tamika Reed stays at Jackson State.
The best coach in the SWAC right now.
Yeah. As much as I would love to beat her, for the girls, but I really hope that she stays and everything like that. But I'm really happy to see that.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Amisha, and looking forward to seeing
Jackson State. He's making history.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So now we want to transition over to the NBA, where we want to talk about the NBA playoffs as they do start tomorrow. Some of these matchups aren't for sure yet, with the Clippers and Pelicans playing tonight, and the Hawks and the Cavs playing tonight. So match up against the Suns and the Heat as well. Kendal, can we start off with your predictions? Because I'm anxious to do this.
Well, like you said, the play-in hasn't happened just yet. So play-in wise, I have in the Clippers versus the Pelicans, I have the Pelicans. It's a tough game, tough battle. But like you said
Paul
earlier,
George.
Yeah, Paul George in the play-in. So I think that the Pelicans, who have been on a tear recently, I think that they'll be fine. Hawks and Cavs. I gotta say Cavs. I thought the Cavs weren't even going to be in this situation. Mm-hmm. I thought they were going to be a playoff lock.
Kind of hurt me if they miss the playoffs. I'm gonna be kind of hurt. But.
As much as I'm a Heat fan. As much as I don't want to see them. I feel like it's going to be the Cavs. I really do.
Okay.
But the whole playoffs. I'm gonna just go Western Conference first. Western Conference, Suns versus Pelicans. I got Suns in 5. D Book has been on a whole different level. I don't know if the Pelicans have enough to compete against the Suns. I really don't. Whether Chris Paul plays or not. Mavs versus Jazz. The Mavs, if Luka plays, I got them in 6. If not, then I got the Jazz in 6. Mm-hmm. Donovan Mitchell, always a bucket in the playoffs. Guaranteed, he's a star. He shows up in the playoffs at the highest moments. I'm hoping that they can win, because I don't know if D Mitchell will stay with them. If they don't, the Warriors. You already know, Warriors versus Nuggets. I got the Warriors. It's really no.
Okay, I'm not gonna say nothing. Go ahead.
Grizz versus Wolves. I got Grizzlies. They've been playing well. I think that the Wolves are gonna give them a battle, but I think the Grizzlies are gonna win. So yeah, that's my Western Conference. What about you?
I'm just gonna go down the list. I got whoever. I don't care who wins this playing in tonight between the Pelicans and the Clippers. Suns in 5, Mav and Jazz in 5, Warriors and Nuggets in 5, Grizzlies and T-Wolves.
You said Nuggets in 5.
6. Miami, I didn't cut you off.
Okay, all right.
Miami versus Hawks and Cavs. Heat in 4. Philly versus Toronto could be interesting. Everybody thinks that they're gonna lose. Philly in 5. Bucks versus Bulls. Bucks in 4. Celtics versus Nets in 5.
Forget everything else you just said. You said
I
Nuggets
did
in
that,
5.
right? I did that.
Nuggets in 5.
Huh?
Are you crazy?
Nuggets in 5. You have nobody to answer. Nobody's cigar Jokic.
Okay.
Who's gonna? That's the best player in the league right now.
Okay.
So what's gonna put Draymond on him? There's no James Wiseman. James Wiseman.
You can put Draymond on him. You can
no,
put Kevon
you
Looney
can't. No, he's too.
You're obviously not going to stop him, but the fact that you just said a Nuggets team without Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. are going to beat the Warriors without Steph is absolutely crazy.
They beat you this year without Jamal Murray in general.
Okay.
There's no answer. Steph hasn't played in 3 weeks now? 4 weeks? He's a rhythm type player. You can't just come back and no, it's not how it's going to work.
Depends on the series.
And everybody's talking about how Clay is balling right now. He is. Okay. But against the G League, guys like us, they're getting off the street. You can go call Mr. Don't and go guard with them.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm just being real.
Okay, you're aiming for disrespect. I see.
I'm not being disrespectful.
Okay. Yes, you are.
I call it true.
Nuggets in 5. You're crazy.
We want to put something on it. I don't promote gambling, but
all I know is
we can put some pennies on it or something.
Some pennies.
Yeah, some drink, maybe a body armor or something. I don't know.
All right, bet.
Buy me lunch. Chipotle.
You eat too much. I ain't doing
Chipotle.
Nah, you eat too much.
Okay. You get 2
But you're insane, though. You're absolutely insane for that. But I guess you got to be insane because your Lakers aren't in it. So I guess that you got to,
You got to put that in there?
Of course. Because it's showing that you're kind of salty. Because you want them to lose in 5. It's cool, though. Didn't y'all lose in? What y'all lost? Y'all lost in 6 last year?
6. We were injured.
What was y'all choose this year?
We're injured. That's the good thing, so y'all. It's going to get real toxic. I'm not going to get into all this. We appreciate you guys for tuning in this episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Follow our Instagram at Hornet Tribune and Wildcard2K. And check back next week for another episode of The Wildcard.
Warriors in 6. Stay blessed, y'all. You're absolutely insane. I can't believe you said Nuggets in 5.
I'm honest.
You're absolutely insane.
I'm honest.
As long as you said Heat in 4. As long as you respected us. Because, you're just,
we'll see. We'll keep on the series.
Of course we will. I cannot believe you said that. You went fast, so I don't know if you said anything else stupid.